What's up, guys? It is good to be back. We're here at the Seamless Compound and working on this bad boy right here. Working on a 4G63. So, it's been a minute, but I am glad to be back. Man, it's been a minute, and I'm just chomping at the bit to get some work done on this thing, get some progress done. I mean, the last thing I did was mess with the harness, and let me just show you. Obviously painted the engine bay black, got it all nice and glossy black, and then I've been messing with the harness, trying to get it tucked and get it ready with new shielding and stuff on it. So that's what I've been doing. 4G63 is coming along nicely, obviously. Got some things on the way, but we pretty much have everything we need. So throwing the plate on today, throwing on the flywheel, clutch. Check out the flywheel. I know y'all have seen it before, but ooh-wee, she's pretty. Flywheel, clutch. Hopefully going to get to throw the trans on, bolted up. I would absolutely love to mount this up to the car today and see what it do. That's what I like to say. See what it do. See what it looks like. Because man, I just been motivated to get out here, and I think seeing it sitting in the car is going to motivate me even more. Yeah. So let's get to it. Ooh-wee. She's looking good. She's looking real good. It's kind of loud because of the air compressor. She's looking good. We're going to throw the flex plate and the pressure plate and the clutch on. And then we're going to try to get the trans bolted on today, trans and starter. We're going to try to do as much as possible today. Try to get some stuff done. So we'll see you here in just a minute. Nothing like JDM parts from Japan. You got a little keeper spring. Gonna go on there like that. Here's the old one. Ooh, weird. The old one's bad. The new one's pretty good. The old one is seized. Why you always replace that garbage. So you want to clean everything that has a contact point. Like for instance, this is going to slide on here, okay? It's going to slide on there like that. So you want to clean it up real good, no dirt and grime, because the nature of the beast is it being clutch disc, and here you're going to get disc powder, you're going to get dirt, everything's going to get in here. Disc dust is what I was calling disc dust. So you want to clean it up real good, no grit and grime, and you want to lube it with some anti-seize. Anti-seize will do it for you. And then also another contact point for swivels is right here. This right here is a contact point. So you want to clean it because as this travels back and forth, right here, this is on there walking on this back and forth. And so you want all that stuff cleaned and lubed. Same thing with the splines. We're going to lube that up for the clutch disc. And the clutch disc goes on there like so. See how that is? That's entirely too tight. So that's going to be a problem. So that's why we've got to make sure that we clean this up good and lube it up good, because that's a problem. So anyway, we're going to get to it. A wire brush is a really good thing for this here to get in those grooves. So I might go try to get one of those real quick. Try to clean this out. The last thing you want is anything binding, so we just want to make sure we get all this garbage off. It's metal after all, so it's going to get rust deposits and all that good stuff. You don't want to rush stuff like this. You definitely want to take your time, because this is going to go back together and you really don't want to take it back apart. I mean, you can, obviously, it can be done, but why? You already have it apart, so you might as well get in here and do what you got to do. I'm using a little brake clean, a little solvent there to get it going. Now, I'm not completely done, but I want to show you the difference it's going to make. So look at that. It's already kind of loose, but we're still having a problem there, so we got to figure out what's going on there. We got to figure out why it doesn't want to go all the way to the bottom. Hopefully these input splines. This is the first time, you know, I bought this transmission separately, so that's the first time I'm messing with the splines on the trans. So I'm hoping that they're not damaged. So that would be upsetting. Okay. So another place is this pivot ball for this fork. You want to clean this fork up really good and clean that pivot ball off and re-grease it. As you can see, it's been greased before, really greased, because it moves a lot, right? But look at that grease. It's all dried up. It's old grease. It's been dried up, been heated up and cooled down, heat up, cool down. And the cycles of that can cause, look at that. That used to be grease. Now it's just chunks. So you want to make sure you take care of all of that and clean it up really good while you're in here. And you may be wondering why I'm not cleaning the whole bell housing. I could, and I probably will before it's all said and done, but the reason you don't necessarily have to is because it's about to get dust all back in it again. It's just a matter of time, because that's how a clutch works. It wears, friction force there, wears down, and the dust gets everywhere. So it's just like brakes, very similar to brakes. See, we're getting better, which is a good sign. Just means we're probably corroded in there. And I bet with a little anti-seize, a little lube there, it'll get even better, but I want to try to get most of the grime out if I can. Alright, so you see how it was real tight before and I had to force it on and we were only getting right there? The way you wanted it is to be able to drop it like that. Now, if obviously if you're just doing, you know, this isn't a how-to, I'm just kind of going through what I'm thinking, what my thought process is. If you have a transmission that you've been working and you're just taking it apart to do a clutch, then obviously this is probably going to be the, you know, it'll probably be like this normally for you. But this trans has been sitting for who knows how long. It's been sitting for at least a year since I bought it. And who knows how long it's sat in that guy's garage before he decided to sell it. So, it just had a lot of built up rust and, you know, residue here that we need to clean off. But if you look at that now, that's what you want. That's ideal. You want it to slide back and forth with ease, like it's doing it on its own weight. So you don't want any restriction. You want it to move nice and smooth. So that's a great sign. We're gonna go ahead and clean this up real quick, and then slap it back on. Alright, so pretty clean, as clean as you're going to get. We'll spray it down with some of this. Some of this brake clean. You should be wearing gloves. I'm not. I'm a dummy. So, I shouldn't be getting that on my skin. But, for the sake of speed and... There we go. So, all right. So, you know, in here, we made sure it was nice and clean. Now, like I said, what we're going to do is we're going to lube it. We're going to lube it. DJ's missing out. He wanted to be here today and learn some of this stuff. He's missing out, but that's okay. He'll be able to watch this video and learn from it. So, you just want a thin coat. Reason being, you just want enough to lube it. That anti-seize is going to stay, so. I do it on both sides too. I kind of overdo it, you know, because I'll do it on both sides. I'll do it on the inside here and on the outside of that there. And then I kind of do like this to see how it feels. That's nice and smooth there. And then what I'll do next is I'm going to wipe off this excess that's on the edge here, because that's not lubing anything. That's on the edge. That's not going to get used. The reason you want to be very tedious about this and be very, you know, vigilant with it is that if it's grease that's not being used, then it's going to get on your plate. It's going to get on your disc here. Not your plate, but your disc. And it's going to cause slippage. So you want to make sure you don't have that problem. Alright, so going into here. You can use anti-seize, but a lot of people use grease on this particular one here. I like to use grease myself, just because, as you can see, it seems to be the most wear, and you want something a little bit thicker than anti-seize on there. Anti-seize is to stop friction from happening, obviously, right? Where grease is like there to help things move better, keep them lubed, if that makes sense. They do two different jobs, even though people think that they're interchangeable. So again, I'm gonna do a little bit overkill. I'm gonna get a little bit on here. And then I'm gonna take, I'm gonna pack this here. I'm gonna go ahead and pack that, as you can see. Now, coming through, we want to make sure, one more thing we're gonna have to do is lube that, but I want to see first how that clip's gonna work in here. Alright. It's gonna go on like that and clip in. Just like this. just like that, and it's going to hold it. So yeah, it's going to rock on it like that. Alright, I finally got it after some practice. Clip goes on like this, which is how I was trying to do it originally. I just couldn't get it to seat right. So since I was unsure, I kind of gave up on that tactic. But anyway, anti-seize here, anti-seize there. So we've got good lubrication properties there. Anti-seize where the bearing, wow, the video's not even showing it. Anti-seize where the bearing rides on the lever here. And then we have greased that pivot ball and the actual bracket, so the lever. And if you look, it's nice and smooth, right? So I'm going to go ahead and press this down onto my pivot ball. There we go. So we're good. You'll want to pull on it to make sure that it's seated, and that's nice and smooth, very smooth. So we're good to go there. All right. So the next thing is going to be to lube up our splines and get ready to install the clutch. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is lube up the splines on the clutch and on the input shaft. You see how I'm holding on the sides? I do not want to get the friction material dirty. It would be even better if you had really clean hands. That way if you do mess up, you don't have to worry about it. But I'm pretty certain I'll be fine. So it's not going to take much. You could even do this with a brush. It's even better with a brush. We don't have that right now. Not very much. You see I have a lot on my finger, but there's an art to letting it come off of your finger the right way to where you're not using too much, okay? So I'm going to get it in those splines good. And again, if you overdo it, we're just going to wipe off anyway. So it's okay if you overdo it. Don't think that it's all over if you overdo the, because I'm probably putting too much on right now, actually. You know, a little dab will do you. But doing this, we'll be able to wipe it off when we get done. So, you know what I mean? Boom, you're going to index it, boom, index. And you want to get that anti-seize on all the splines. You see what I mean about it's coming up on the tip of the shaft now? That's because that's excess that we're not going to need. If we pull it off, I bet you can see, yeah, look. It's got on the edges too. We're going to wipe all of that off because it's not necessary. But I like to be overly thorough, so I'm going to go ahead and index this a few more times. And then we're going to be good to go. Okay. Yep, I think we're good. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my clean rag that I have right here, and I'm going to wipe off this excess. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to wipe this excess off here that we're not going to need, okay? Same thing here on the tip. The last thing we want, because it's going to have higher rotational speed, right? Last thing we want is the excess to be slinging off and getting on our disc. It's nice and smooth there. I love that. So that's good. Okay. So next, we're going to go ahead and install this clutch assembly. All right, let's get this clutch going. So obviously, you need an alignment tool. You're going to need an alignment tool to line the disc up with the input shaft of your trans. So if you don't do that, you'll go to stab it and you'll never get the trans on on the engine. You may get lucky once every million times and it'll be perfect, but it's not even worth the risk. I'm going to go ahead and put some Loctite. I put Loctite on these as well. I'm going to go ahead and put some Loctite on each one of these because it definitely needs it. Alright. You're talking about stuff. You're talking about things that are rotating to up to 8,000 RPM. You definitely want it holding on. So this is for your pressure plate. Alright. So all those have a good coat of Loctite on them. We're going to start. That's in there like this. That's in there like this. There's a sticker that says Flywheel side, so you can't mess that up. You'll run in here with your alignment tool. You're going to go on. Try to line it up perfectly. Line up with all your dowels, and then we'll start putting the bolts in. Alright, so yeah, we used, it's going to be 6 bolts there, and we went in a star pattern, right? So that we can distribute the force equally across it, because this is a spring here. This is a spring. These are all springs right here for this pressure plate. And so you got to put it on evenly, and then you make sure they're all good and snug. You know what I mean? They're all torqued down. I've got Loctite on them so they're not going to come off. And that's the clutch. That's it. We're done with the clutch. Alright guys, let me show you all a little mechanics trick. So, these seals here. If you don't already know, if you know the trick, that's fine, but here's the deal. You got to press these in, right? They go into your, it's for your axle seals. You can do this for other seals as well. Now, the manufacturers, Nissan, Mitsubishi, whoever, they make special tools you can do to install these, but what I've always done my whole career is I use one of these sockets. Alright, and so here's how it works. You take the socket, so right here, right? Put it in there. So because the reason you want to do something like that is because other tools that you may use, you're going to press against the rubber. The last thing you want to do is press against the rubber. You're going to ruin the seal, or you don't want to deform the metal either. So you want it to press around the metal evenly as you install it, and this socket here just happens to be perfect for this one. It's going to be a different size socket for each seal. For instance, I just installed that seal there, and totally different size socket. It just depends on it. So you'll have to have sockets available for you to use like that. So you may have to go to the store and find one. You won't find the special tools. I think there may or may not be a kit that you can get, a seal installer kit, but you got to think about all the different seals out there and the fact that it's just going to be a crazy assortment. Or you could just buy the socket that fits what you need. So anyway, I figured I would add that in this video. And we're getting ready to stab this right now. I'm going to install that seal, and then we're getting ready to put the trans on the engine and call it a day. All right, guys, we got her together. I got a little frustrated there trying to stab it, so I missed a little clip on it. That's okay. Check it out, man. We're done. It's bolted on. Even the starter got bolted on, so we're good there. It's basically a complete assembly. We're just waiting on a few things, but it's basically a complete assembly. And I'm done for the day. I've been out here all day long, and I've been excited to get back out here. And man, got a lot done. Got a lot of progress made. I'm real satisfied with what we did today. So just look at it. Ooh wee, ooh wee. So been a long time coming, but we finally got it together. So now we just got to work on stabbing it. There's a few brackets I'm missing that are hard to find, but I'm trying to find them so that I can get this thing in the engine bay up here in this beaut. You know what I mean? Up here in this beauty, so that we can get going. I mean, look at DJ's Chevy. It's ready to go. We just got to put the front end together. It's ready to go. It's drive ready. I mean, we got it going. We drove it already. I mean, it's nice. So, but anyway, it's been a very productive day. So can't wait to post this one so you guys can see the progress. Y'all been asking about the Talon for a while. So but yeah, man, we're gonna get out of here. I appreciate y'all tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.